Lord, as we look into the scriptures again today, continue to teach us that we might grow as your people of faith. Amen. So, Lyle, if you want to hit the screen, today is special because today is the Grey Cup. And I'm excited, my brother's excited, because the Ticats are in the final for the championship. And they haven't won it since 1999. And up until the last decade, they've won it every single decade of the 20th century. So they've missed the first 10 years of the 21st century, so this is their last chance to get the second decade in. So they really need to win. I won't make us pray about that here, but I will later tonight. Anyway, and when you play football, hit the next slide, Lyle, you always, there's a bunch of rules here, but the second one is, take what the defense gives you. In football, if they line everybody up to stop you from running the ball, you then need to adapt and pass it. Actually, it's true in almost every sport. And this is what David does in our story today. He was anointed to be king when he was a young boy, king of all of Israel. Saul and Jonathan have died, and so, oh cool, he thinks maybe I should go and be king. But it appears that Abner, the leader of Saul's army, finds another son of Saul that's still alive, Ishbosheth, and 11 of the tribes decide to follow him. Hit the next slide, Lyle. And so only Judah made him king. Now he had a choice. He could have tried to force his will upon the rest of the people and turned it into a civil war, or he could pray and trust God and wait. And in this case, he waited 7.5 years, but eventually they came around. The lesson, I think, for us as disciples of Jesus is we're called to be patient in life. Because when we try to force our will on other people, we're seeing in our culture today, when people try to force other people to do things, it gets nasty. Whether it's the federal government requiring an attestation to certain political opinions to get funding like we had a couple of years ago. Thankfully, they backed down from that. But more recently, during the federal election, a group calling themselves Antifa or anti-fascists were being very fascist when they screamed at an 82-year-old lady with a walker going to a political rally at Mohawk College in Hamilton. Or a group trying to silence feminist Megan Murphy at the Toronto Public Library and not let her speak because of all things, she doesn't think women who've been abused by men should have men or even people that look like men around them while they're in trauma. What a shock. So why are people trying to be so coercive? I'm not really sure. But it is a mistake to do that. Because guess what? Lesson 1, he prayed first to inquire the Lord. Saul and Jonathan were dead. What should he do? He prayed to God. Should I go up? Yes. What city should I go up to in Judah? To Hebron. So he does, and they anoint him king. And he and his 600 warriors and their families go there. Folks, we need to allow God to lead us. Because if we try and coerce other people, or try to make our plans work, it just doesn't work. And in my experience, it's always surprising what makes the difference in our lives. You guys remember back in the early 90s, I was having trouble getting youth group people to pay attention. And then the opportunity came that another church, Norwich United Church, sent some young people to Urban Promise. And so we sent some people, and some of you as adults went down with us. And that changed the young people's attitudes. It's helped them change and be different because they serve God. Now, that's not what I would have thought. Oh, the best way to help young people get their attention and make them change is to take them to a foreign country and take people I can't get to focus on a Bible study and take them to a foreign country without their parents. That would not have been my first option. But it was the best one, and a surprise, it made a huge difference and led us to where we have young people leading summer camps even here. So the first thing is we need to let ourselves be led by God and not just try and force our own ideas. Second thing, hit the next slide, Lyle. If we're going to do something, I want to do it now. I don't want to wait. We're wasting time. Let's get on with it. The problem is the Bible is absolutely full of stories of Abraham being promised he's going to have all these children, and Isaac gets born only 25 years later. King David, we had to wait 7.5 years after waiting all the time for being anointed king in the first place till Saul and Jonathan died. The Bible is full of times where we have to wait. We have to wait. How long have we been waiting for Jesus to come back? We're only 2,000 years and counting. The point is, God is often wants us to, His timing is often not our timing. And if we can trust God, we wait. Now what do we do waiting? Well, as I said to the kids, when we're getting ready for Christmas, do we have to go buy food for Christmas celebrations? Yes. Do we need to get decorations up? Yes. Do we need to clean up the house? Yes. While we're waiting, there's lots to do. Just like David worked to be the best king he could be of Judah, so that when time came, the other goes, hey, David's doing a really good job over there. All right, we'll make him our king. You see, that's so different than just coercing and forcing other people to do things, isn't it? So we need to be people who are willing to be patient for God's timing and God's plans to come about. So, 2019, whether it's in our individual lives or our life of the church, we need to wait. And as we wait on God, we need to let Him lead us, look at the opportunities He gives us. Don't just come up with our own plan and say, God, I want us to do this, now bless my plan, because it doesn't work very well. Secondly, as we wait on God's timing, let's patiently know that in the fullness of time, He brings things about. So, what does that mean for getting ready for Christmas? Don't fight the winter weather. Be careful. Be wise. Work around it. Buy the gifts. Make the gifts. Do the cool things. And in my case, apparently, now that I have a new palm tree for my nativity scene in my front yard, thank you, Charlene and John. And now to make it look good, apparently I'm going to have to paint the nativity scene because somehow the paint started flaking. But you do it as we wait because it's the right and good thing to do. So let's be people who look for God's leading and trust in His timing. Let's pray. God, we thank you for the blessings you give us, and we thank you for the leading you give us. Help us have eyes to see when you're leading and directing us. We ask in Jesus' strong name. Amen. At this time, we're going